If you love the colorful, lively dance and music featured in Hindi cinema, then get ready for a big burst of it in the show Bollywood Boulevard in Pittsburgh tomorrow night. And to make the experience even better, you can learn some Bollywood dance moves of your own tonight at an Indian dance workshop. Workshop instructor and guest dancer Ramita Ravi is here to tell us more about it. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to have you. I mean, you're like a superstar. You were the first Indian dancer to be on So You Think You Can Dance, which I think is so neat. Tell us about that experience.
It was really great. I auditioned in March of last year, so about a year ago, and the style that I did was called Indian Contemporary, so it's a mixture of classical Indian dance and contemporary. And yeah, it was the first time that they had seen that style. There is Bollywood on the show, but never an Indian dancer that performed and was a contestant. So it was a really, really great experience.
That's awesome. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about the show Bollywood Boulevard. What is it?
Yeah, so Bollywood Boulevard is a huge Bollywood production. It features all types of Indian dance, but specifically this one is a tribute to Bollywood cinema. So Bollywood, like Hollywood, is the film industry in India, and they have these huge musical numbers that are basically kind of what you'd see on Broadway. There's a ton of singing and dancing and beautiful costumes. And so this basically takes what you see on TV and in those movies and puts it on stage.
So is it like a progression through the years of cinema?
Yeah, exactly. So it starts in black and white. The entire first set is totally black and white. All the costumes are like scales of gray. It's really, really cool. And then there's a piece that turns it into color. And then it kind of goes through the 90s. It goes into current songs and movies. So it's really cool because especially if you've watched all those movies growing up, like for me, I watched these and it literally is exactly what you would see on TV.
To see it come to life on the stage.
Exactly.
So how did you become a guest dancer for the show?
Yeah, so a lot of these dancers are based in New York and New Jersey, and I'm a professional dancer in New York, and since I grew up here, the woman who was producing this show reached out to me and was like, hey, we're doing a show in Pittsburgh, we'd love to have you be a part of it, and all of the other artists are Indian Americans who, grew up in the U.S. and who are really passionate about music or dance here, and who are kind of, bringing different cultures and worlds together. So it seemed like a really good fit, and it's such a dream to be able to perform here in Pittsburgh at the Biome.
Like home. I'm sure your family's so excited and proud of you. So let's talk about the importance of this dance in respects to your identity.
Yeah. So growing up, I grew up in Murraysville, and I learned classical Indian dance at the SV Temple in Monroeville from my aunt, actually. And so I went there every Sunday, and I really learned about Indian culture and about Hinduism, which is the religion behind it. And I also met a lot of other Indian kids who were like me. At the same time, I went to a studio, Dancer's Edge by Rogers, in Murraysville, and I learned all about American culture. I was one of the only Indian people there, and honestly one of the only Indian people that was in that competition dance world for a while. So it was cool to be totally immersed in two communities at one time. And then when I got to college, I started experimenting with, putting the styles together and seeing how I can find synergies. So now the dancing that I try to do, whether it's classical or whether it's contemporary, I try to bridge the gap between those styles and identities a little bit. And it's cool because it's just literally my experience as a person and all that I've learned about myself coming to life through dance.
And well, it seems like you have a lot to teach in your young 23 years. And I think what's so neat is you are kind of giving back. Before the show, you're doing a workshop. What is this about? Yeah, so the workshop will be specifically focused on, it'll be based in classical Indian dance because that's what my background is in. And Bollywood as a style, it is the film industry, but all of the dancing in it comes from different genres. So there are folk dances in India, there are classical dances. Each region kind of has its own dance style as well. So all of that diversity is kind of on stage. And so I'll be doing a workshop that focuses specifically on classical Indian dance and then takes it out of its element, makes it a little more modern and kind of adds in contemporary and Western styles to it. Can anyone, I have no dance experience whatsoever, so somebody like me, could I come?
Totally, yeah, anyone can do it. And it'll be, the cool thing about Indian dance is that you can relate it to all of these other practices like yoga and meditation and like mindfulness that are really accessible to everyone. So we'll go through a meditative warm-up and kind of find our mind-body connection, which is something that's super important in Indian dance, and in yoga, meditation, all of that. And then we'll go into a short combination and work through that.
Great. Thank you so much. It sounds like you're doing big things. And again, I'm sure your family is just so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You can come learn to dance at the Indian Dance Workshop tonight at the Trust Arts Education Center downtown. It's open to all levels, as you just heard, and abilities for just $10. Class starts at 5:30. Then come see how the pros do it at the show Bollywood Boulevard, brought to the Byam stage by the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust and Cohen and Grigsby Presents. That's Thursday night at 7:30. Look for all the details at kdka.com/PTL.